Imagine a universe where the reality you know is merely an illusion, a projection crafted by your own mind. What if I told you that you have the power to shape this reality, altering every detail of your world with just the power of thought? What you're about to discover might completely change the way you view life and your role within it. A visionary scientist has already uncovered this secret, but his mysterious disappearance has left many questions unanswered. A new way to see reality. Imagine a world where reality isn't fixed, but is a holographic matrix that responds to our perceptions and intentions. A visionary scientist introduced this radical idea, suggesting that we not only inhabit this matrix, but also possess the ability to shape it. He argued that instead of being mere passive spectators of the universe, each of us holds the power to alter our reality through consciousness. This doesn't just mean seeing the world differently, but literally changing the experiences we live, as if we were in a game where the mind is the controller. This perspective challenges all traditional notions of reality and leads us to question what is truly real. If reality is shaped by our perceptions, this implies that by changing our way of thinking, we can profoundly and significantly transform our lives. The scientist's mysterious disappearance. Shortly after presenting his revolutionary ideas on the nature of reality, the scientist in question mysteriously disappeared, leaving the world perplexed. His disappearance wasn't just an isolated event, but sparked a wave of speculation about what really happened. Was he a victim of an accident? Or could there have been hidden forces at play, trying to silence his groundbreaking discoveries? Some theorists suggest that his disappearance might be directly related to the impact of his theories on the holographic matrix, raising the possibility that he could have been removed by those who felt threatened by the potential power of his findings. Others speculate that he may have voluntarily withdrawn, seeking to protect himself or continue his research in secret. In any case, his disappearance adds an element of mystery and intrigue that only enhances the fascination surrounding his theories, leaving many questions unanswered to this day. The fusion of science and the paranormal. Jacobo Grinberg was a scientist who dedicated his life to exploring what many consider to be the uncharted territory of the human mind and its connection to the universe. Born in Mexico, Grinberg stood out by seeking a fusion between science and paranormal phenomena, such as telepathy and sight beyond the normal range. His research was pioneering and challenged conventional understanding by proposing that the human mind has extraordinary power to influence reality. He conducted rigorous experiments, trying to prove that consciousness can extend beyond the physical limits of the body, interacting with other beings and even the environment around it. Grinberg not only believed, but also demonstrated through his research that phenomena considered paranormal could have a real scientific basis. His approach integrated psychology, neuroscience, and quantum physics, creating a completely new field of study that inspired others to follow in his path, even after his mysterious disappearance. Synergy, the key to manipulating space-time. At the core of Grinberg's theories is the concept of synergy, a combination of synthesis and energy, which he believed to be the key to manipulating space-time. According to him, the human brain is not just an organ for processing information, but an instrument capable of directly interacting with the structure of the universe. Through complex neurological processes, he suggested that we can influence the fabric of space-time, creating perceptible changes in the reality around us. This idea opens up a range of possibilities for understanding how the mind and the universe are interconnected in ways we are only beginning to explore. Synergy is not just a theory, but an invitation for each of us to realize the power we have to shape our destiny. If you're interested in learning more about how this ability can be developed, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our upcoming videos on the topic. Consciousness shapes the holographic reality. Grinberg proposed that the reality we live in is akin to a hologram, a complex projection created by the interaction of our consciousnesses with the universe. He argued that human consciousness is not passive, but plays an active role in the creation and modification of the reality we perceive. Just as a hologram depends on light to manifest, our reality depends on how our mind processes and interprets the world around us. This suggests that by changing our way of thinking and perceiving, we can literally alter the structure of reality. This view goes far beyond the idea that positive thinking attracts good things, touching on how the mind can influence fundamental aspects of existence. If reality is indeed a holographic construct shaped by consciousness, this opens the door to new ways of living, where human potential is truly limitless, challenging everything we believe is possible. Direct mental connection without needing senses. Among Grinberg's most intriguing discoveries is the idea that the human brain can establish direct connections with other brains, regardless of distance or traditional senses. He conducted experiments that showed that through practices such as meditation, two brains could synchronize, even when subjected to different stimuli. This synchronization did not occur through physical means, such as sound or visual waves, but through a direct interaction between consciousnesses, which Grinberg believed was mediated by a quantum mechanism. This suggests that the human mind has a much greater capacity than we usually recognize, being able to communicate and influence other minds without the need for words or gestures. If such a phenomenon is true, it could have profound implications for how we understand communication, human connection, and even the nature of reality. Have you ever experienced something similar? Share your experiences in the comments below. Where does consciousness come from? Grinberg also delved into the fundamental question of where and how human consciousness arises. For him, consciousness is not just a function of the brain, but the result of a complex interaction between the brain and the energy field of space. He suggested that the human mind acts as an interface that translates and processes this energy into thoughts, perceptions, and conscious experiences. This idea challenges the traditional materialist view that sees the mind only as a byproduct of brain activity, and proposes that consciousness is, in fact, a much broader and deeper phenomenon. If we better understand this interaction between mind and universe, we may explore new ways to expand our perception and experience of life. It makes you think about the true potential of the mind, doesn't it? To follow more content that explores these ideas, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Perception as a product of the mind. Grinberg argued that what we perceive as reality is not something external and independent, but rather a construction of our mind based on complex neurological and energetic processes. According to him, the human brain synthesizes information from the environment and transforms it into energy patterns that are interpreted as colors, shapes, and objects. This means that the reality we experience is largely a creation of our own mind, shaped by our expectations, beliefs, and perceptions. This view can radically change how we understand the world and our interactions with it, because it puts us in the role of creators rather than just passive observers. If reality is ultimately a projection of the mind, then we have the power to change it by changing our way of thinking. This concept opens the door to a deeper understanding of how our minds can shape not only our personal lives, but the very world we live in. Vision, quantum fields, and interference patterns. For Grinberg, vision and other senses are not simply windows to the external world, but highly complex processes involving the interaction between the brain and the quantum fields of the universe. He proposed that what we see as colors, lines, and shapes are, in fact, patterns of energy interference created when our brain aligns with these quantum fields. These patterns are processed by the brain, which transforms them into visual images, forming the basis of our perceptual experience. This idea suggests that what we perceive as visual reality is a much more intricate and sophisticated energy construction than we could imagine. If this is true, vision can be seen not just as a simple act of perceiving the world, but as a direct manifestation of our interaction with the fundamental energies that make up the universe. Have you ever stopped to think about how the act of seeing can be so complex and full of mysteries? Comment below what you think. The universe as a reflection of our minds. Grinberg firmly believed that the universe is not just a physical place to be studied, but an expression of the collective mind of all humanity. He argued that what we consider to be the real world is, in fact, a projection created by the consciousnesses of all of us, interacting and connecting in ways that we are only beginning to understand. According to this view, each of us contributes to the creation of reality, not only through our actions, but also through our thoughts and intentions. This perspective suggests that by changing the focus of our consciousness, we can literally transform the world around us. If we all start to see the universe as a reflection of our minds, we can begin to create a more harmonious, balanced, and full of possibilities world. It's a vision that not only inspires, but also challenges us to become conscious co-creators of the reality we wish to live in, uniting science, spirituality, and a new understanding of existence.